Hello, everybody, and welcome to How to Break Up with Your Yandere Boyfriend. This is a short horror visual novel about breaking up with your boyfriend who just seems a little bit too perfect. What's the name? Brittany. I don't know if that's how you even spell Brittany. Hey, Brittany. The sound of your name jolts you back to reality. You blink, realizing you've been staring blankly at your open computer screen for who knows how long. You gotta get the music in there. Perfect. Alright. Your gaze drifts to the clock on the wall. Still office hours before shifting to the person who called your name. It's your coworker, the one you've been working closely with for a while now. Unlike the person she replaced, the two of you get along surprisingly well. For a moment, you just stare blankly at the files she've extended toward you. Okay? They need some last minute changes before sending them to the client, something about increasing the font size by a point. She mimics your boss's mannerisms perfectly, coaxing a faint smile from you. As you take the files, your fingers instinctively return to the keyboard, tapping out the same monotonous rhythm as always. You still haven't talked to him, have you? A few people pass by your desk, arguing loudly, but you keep your eyes fixed on the screen and mutter, "Not yet." How much longer are you going to delay this? It won't change anything. I know. Your coworker takes a sip from her mug without lifting her hands from the keyboard, then grimaces. Wait, she takes a sip from her mug without lifting her hands from the keyboard. What? Thanks to your boss dragging out the meeting, the coffee's gone ice cold. You can't keep doing this. Weren't you dead set on telling him last night? You'll roll your eyes dramatically and exhale, knowing full well she won't see it. I tried, but in the middle of our video call, his dog suddenly started throwing up. How was I supposed to drop a breakup on him like that? I'm not that heartless. Was it serious? You try to recall the last message your boyfriend sent you this morning. I think she swallowed something or had an allergic reaction. Either way, I'm sure she's fine now. Soren took her to the vet this morning. Perfect opportunity. Call him somewhere after work and talk. But Soren would never leave his dog alone like that. He's crazy attached to her. It'll only take half an hour. So we're gonna dump this man? No way. How am I supposed to explain why I'm breaking up with him in half an hour? Impossible. People break up with a single text these days. That's way too harsh. Besides, he'd never accept it. Your coworker suddenly stops typing and turns to you confused. You don't need him to accept it. Just tell him you don't feel the same anymore, unless that's not actually the case. Your fingers freeze mid-type. Of course it is. Alright, don't get mad, but if you're so sure about breaking up, why keep delaying it? You swallow hard before answering as if you've been asking yourself the same thing. Of course, this isn't the kind of excuse you can resolve in the middle of a workday, mid-conversation with a coworker. Oh, I don't know. Maybe I'm just not as good at breaking hearts as you are. See, more excuses. Maybe you should reconsider. You might regret it later. No, I have to end it. Like I said, my feelings changed. I know how good he is to me, how devoted he is, but I can't return it. Lately, I've been thinking about my ex. Oh? Defensive now, your voice rises slightly. Not that I want him back, it's just things were so different with him. Maybe Soren and I just aren't right for each other. To your surprise, your coworker nods. That's fair, I'm sure he'll be happier with someone else too. You're right, I'll tell him today, and this time I mean it. Just then, the files on your desk tremble slightly, startling you. Nice. These vampires. It takes you a second to realize it's just your phone vibrating beneath them, but the moment you see his name flashing on the screen, an odd tension coils in your chest. Your eyes dart to your coworkers. It's him. Unlike you, she looks almost excited, nudging you toward the phone. Perfect timing, check what he wrote. Whose printout is this? You got mixed up with mine. Angry voice. Someone's grumbling by the printer and your coworker jumps up in a hurry. Left alone, you hesitate. A part of you dreads whatever new complication this message might bring, something that could unravel your resolve. Your finger hovers before finally tapping the screen. You exhale sharply, leaning back in your chair and closing your eyes. Thursday, waiting for test results, but they said she ate something she shouldn't have. Like 5 sad emojis with big eyes. Hey love, we finished early at the vet, so I went shopping. Got those ribs you love, cooking a special dinner tonight, just the 2 of us, what do you say? Your coworker rushes back, papers in hand. What did he say? He said he's cooking me dinner. You glance around the office, making sure no one's paying attention, then show her the message. This is great. All you have to do is go, then explain things as kindly as possible after he makes you a special dinner. From what I remember at the company dinner, Soren seemed like a very reasonable, kind guy. You'll end things clean, no drama. You've no doubt Soren is reasonable, level-headed even, and yet the thought of having that conversation stirs an inexplicable unease in you. You can't explain why. Soren's the definition of ordinary. Dog, remote job, weekend split between bad movies and you. No surprises, no drama, just life. Painfully ordinary. Maybe that's part of why you want to leave. Compared to your ex? No, you can't make that comparison yet. Not until this is over. With a quick tap of the keyboard, you reply, of course I'll be there. The rest of the workday passes in a hectic blur, yet somehow faster than you expected. By the time you're packing up and chatting with coworkers on your way out, you realize you're in the best mood you've been in for days. Your coworker flashes you a knowing smile before parting ways. Don't forget to text me updates, I'll be waiting. This is like some ungodly traffic going on back there, holy crap. But the moment dinner crosses your mind, all your anxieties come crashing back down like a weight on your shoulders. You freeze mid-sidewalk, earning a few annoyed bumps from passerbys. Just like you stop walking on the sidewalk, you start walking into you. It's crazy. Alright, see you. Since you need to stop by your place first, you hurry into the crowded metro and pull out your phone only to find bad news waiting. We noticed you haven't picked up your dress yet. It's freshly cleaned and waiting for you at Studs and Suds. Don't forget to stop by during our hours. Monday to Friday, 8 a.m. to 7 p.m. No, Soren hasn't canceled. Worse, you completely forgot to pick up your dress from the dry cleaners for your best friend's birthday party tomorrow. Yeah, great. Your stomach drops as you reread the reminder text, double checking the shop's address and hours. The dry cleaner is in the exact opposite direction of Soren's place. If you go now, you'll definitely be late for dinner. Your other option? Skip the party entirely or wear something different. Hold on. You don't... Okay, whatever. With tomorrow's big client meeting, your boss won't give you even an hour's break, and you can't exactly show up to your friend's fancy venue in some random outfit. You only have one dress. If he's a super caring and level-headed guy, he should understand. But on the other hand, you're gonna dump him after making him wait for you because you're late to dinner? Do the dry cleaners first. The weight of the impending conversation with Soren already passes down on you, but right now, more than anything, you need this, even evening with friends, a chance to breathe. You owe yourself that small mercy. Besides, Mia isn't just any friend, she's your childhood confidante, which I don't know what that word means. You could never abandon her on her birthday. You hop off the metro and power walk to the dry cleaners arriving just before closing time. Why didn't you text him that you're going to be late? Why not? As you clutch the freshly cleaned dress and step back onto the street, a wave of relief washes over you. Tomorrow's party will be perfect. You'll laugh, you'll forget, you'll live. Live, laugh, love, whatever those things say. But then it hits you. You need to text Soren. You didn't do that earlier? A pang of guilt stabs your chest as you had said. You should explain. But how? Hey, running a bit late. Something urgent came up after work. Hope that's okay. He doesn't even know about the party or the breakup, and now is definitely not the time. His reply pings instantly. No worries, babe. Don't rush, be careful. I can come pick you up if you'd like. In this traffic? The message conjures memory, your last night out together, rushing downstairs in heels, one snapping mid-step. You'd nearly tumbled headfirst if he hadn't caught you. You'd buried that humiliating moment, yet he remembers. Thanks, but no need. I'll keep you posted. You rush home, shower in a haze, and throw on something comfortable before sliding into the waiting Uber. Of course, you don't forget to text Soren. On my way now. Great, babe, we're waiting for you. The word we sends an involuntary ripple of unease through you until you remember. Right, just him and the dog, like always. Tonight, you won't tolerate any distractions, no excuses, no turning back. Since Soren's place is quite far from the city center, you have plenty of time during the journey, and the question that has been weighing on your mind for days resurfaces once again. Is breaking up with him truly the right decision? If you were to bypass your indecisive reasoning and instead trust your feelings, just as you intend to tonight, you would find your answer crystal clear. You no longer want to continue this relationship. There is something wrong here, something that simply feels wrong to you. Just then, your phone buzzes with a notification, pulling you from your thoughts. Assuming it's a message from your boyfriend, you reach for your phone, but the name that flashes across the screen makes your heart involuntarily quicken its pace. Lars. From Steven Universe. Your ex-boyfriend. God damn. Or rather, the ex-boyfriend who has been creeping into your thoughts more and more often lately. Hi, it's been a while. I hope you're doing well. Sorry if I'm bothering you. I just wanted to know if you're coming to the party tomorrow. Maybe I should have skipped the party. As you read the message, an inexplicable thrill rises within you. Knowing Lars's fondness for crowded, lively gatherings and the fact that he shares mutual friends with Mia, whose birthday is tomorrow, you're certain he'll be there. But what puzzles you is why, after all these months of silence, his first message is about this. Because you are in a relationship with him? You have no idea. Should you respond? Your finger I like the nod. The no. Your fingers hesitate over the screen, your inner voice whispering that it would be a mistake. Yet another part of you burns to know. Has he really moved on? And aches to answer him. Fuck Lars. You slip your phone back into your pocket and turn to look out the window. Right now, you have neither the time nor the energy to respond to that message or to dwell on what might be going through Lars's mind. The time that I'm going to spend sitting in the Uber looking out the window? You know the reason he's been creeping back into your thoughts lately is because of the emotional void and anxiety stirred by your decision to end things with Soren. You've experienced this pattern in past relationships too, but the past needs to stay where it belongs, behind you. As you step out of the Uber, you notice that the light patter of raindrops tapping against the car window is turned into a steady downpour. That house is so nice. Seeing how dark the sky has grown, you check the time on your phone only to realize you're running later than you thought. Realization sends a ripple of tension through you. You pick up your pace, crossing the small garden of Soren's house. An old but sturdy-looking two-story detached home, its renovations perpetually postponed. You rush beneath the pergola at the entrance, doing your best to shield yourself from the rain. As you press the doorbell, you take a moment to notice how the neighborhood, made up entirely of similar detached homes, remains just as calm and quiet as ever, rain or not. Soon, the muffled sound of footsteps and distant dog barks pierce through the hum of the rain. Then the door swings open and there he is. They drew him with like the most dead inside eyes. Oh crap. Alright, I didn't know I could go back and forward in text with the scroll wheel. Despite your difference in your heights, he leans forward just enough for you to clearly see the warm smile spreading across his face. Welcome, love. Come on in. Don't get any wetter. He steps aside to let you in, and you cross the threshold. The familiar warmth of the house wraps around you. In contrast between it and the cool, damp air outside, or perhaps the weight of what's about to happen, sends a faint shiver down your spine. Just then, Soren closes the door swiftly behind you and turns to face you. Huh. Well, I mean, don't we want to break up with him? I don't know. Just give him a hug. In this moment, everything feels so ordinary, like one of your many quiet, pleasant evenings together, that you find yourself instinctively wrapping your arms around his waist. Soren pulls you gently into him, resting your head lightly against his chest as he murmurs, I hope you didn't get too cold. You're not dressed for this weather. Oh, I forgot to check the forecast. You think, not for the first time, that in moments like this, he sounds more like a concerned parent than a boyfriend. Still, you don't exactly mind it. Right now, this kind of tender attention is exactly what you need to ease your nerves. Before we throw him on the ground, stomp all over him. Even if, considering the reason for your nerves is that you are planning to break up with them, this gesture feels more than a little unfair. This guy is built. Luckily, before the guilt can really take hold, Soren decides you've warmed up enough and gently lets go of you. The one-eyed dog. Just then, the dog trots over to the door where you are both standing, her tiny body trembling with excitement as she begins to growl at you with surprising volume for her size. Oh my god, that actually scared me. You notice the wet mark around her mouth and immediately understand Soren's must have tried to distract her with food before opening the door, hoping to soften her mood. But clearly, she couldn't be bothered to finish her snack when the opportunity to antagonize you was too tempting. You missed Brittany too, didn't you, Princess? Princess is the small, greedy, one-eyed Chihuahua mix that Soren adopted, and though he refuses to admit it, she absolutely has anger issues. Truthfully, with her temperament and the eye patch she wears, Pirate would have been a far more fitting name. Don't mind her. She always gets a little sensitive after the vet. Of course, no problem. But you know damn well it has nothing to do with the vet. She's despised you from the moment you met for reasons you've never understood. Not that you can say that to Soren, who somehow still believes his princess is the sweetest, gentlest dog alive. Break up with him. Luckily, as long as he's around, her hatred doesn't escalate beyond bared teeth and growls. As you both head to the living room, she settles for glaring daggers at your back. Yeah, let's ask about his dog, why not? Princess is completely fine, right? Oh, is there, this must be like the breakup meter on the left, because when I asked about that, it went down. Princess is completely fine, right? As always, his eyes soften the moment his dog is mentioned. Yes, definitely. She just ate something she shouldn't have. As you can see, she's already back to her usual self. Even though you and this tiny angry dog don't exactly get along, you still feel relieved by his words, especially after remembering how anxious he was last night. I'm glad it wasn't anything serious. You were really worried. Soren nods, and a slightly sheepish smile pulls at the corner of his lips. Yeah, I guess I panicked thinking I might actually lose her. I must have ruined your night too. Hopefully tonight's dinner makes up for it. No, please don't say that. Accept your fate and let the dog silently judge you through dinner. You already know Soren would never actually shut his dog in the other room. Why not? It seems like a normal thing. So you resign yourself to this uncomfortable arrangement. After all, this is likely your last evening here. You hope you can muster enough patience to endure a few more hours of this. Just then, as if reading your thoughts, he comes to your rescue. It's almost Princess's bedtime. She'll head to her bed soon. The moment you step into the living room, the mouth-watering aroma of fried ribs spills out from the kitchen, wrapping around you. A single glance at the table tells you everything. The carefully arranged plates, the candles casting their warm glow, your favorite wine chilling in an ice bucket. It's painfully clear how much effort Soren put into this dinner, and the guilt inside you swells just a little more. How many of your exes ever cooked a meal like this for you? Better question, how many ever cooked for you at all? Not reheated leftovers, not takeout, cooked. Oh, what's he looking at? Was there even one among them who appreciated a meal you prepared? Maybe the real problem isn't this relationship, but your own feelings. Maybe what you should do is silence those unreliable emotions, the ones that keep dragging you into the wrong relationships, and finally listen to logic. Maybe instead of breaking up with Soren, you should be proposing to him. But why would Soren accept a proposal from someone like you? He has a better job, a nicer house, a reliable car, a beloved dog, hobbies that fulfill him, and a life that seems to be going perfectly well. Man, we are a mess. Oh, just a mess. Honestly, I can understand having your partner has a pet that hates you. That could be a big deal to a lot of people, especially if you don't like having pets in the first place. It could be like a big deal breaker. Anyway, meanwhile, you have nothing but a job you constantly complain about, a few old friends, weak family ties, and a bunch of trauma and debt left over from terrible past relationships. The only things you can offer him are your rather feeble love compared to his, some sex, maybe a bit of charm, and a whole lot of chatter. No, you're not being too harsh on yourself. You just want to remind yourself of a truth, that's all. Unlike your previous partners, you've never understood what exactly keeps him in this relationship. Could this be what they call true love? Unfortunately, after your past bad relationships, your instincts won't let you put those rose-colored glasses back on. You no longer believe in fairy tales with white knights rescuing princesses from monsters. You quickly jump in, trying to come up with an excuse for your unusually long silence caused by your inner thoughts. Everything looks amazing. Even such a simple phrase is enough to make his eyes light up. Yeah, he was looking pretty dead inside a minute ago. I'm so glad you like it. The food is almost ready. Do you need any help? No need, darling. I've got it. Please just sit and relax for a bit. You must be tired from trying to make it in time for dinner. You'd forgotten all about being late since he hadn't said a word about it until now. Yep, trying desperately to make it. Went home, changed clothes, got an Uber. Did not rush at all. But now, even this subtle remark from Soren is enough to unsettle your peace. What little of it may still be left. You quickly began crafting several possible explanations in your head for why you were late, ones that don't involve the birthday party tomorrow and that he is unlikely to question. But he doesn't give you a chance to lie. After checking on his dog, who has now gone to her bed in the corner, Soren smiles at you and disappears down the hallway. While you wait for him, maybe you could do something. So, I think I would have just told him the truth, like when I texted him. Go to the kitchen. Even though Soren didn't ask for your help, you feel it wouldn't be right to just sit back and relax while he prepares something for you in the kitchen. Besides, it's your last evening together. Of course, the presence of the dog still curled up in the bed, yet clearly alert, might have also influenced your decision. As his footsteps fade down the hallway, you leave the living room and follow him into his spacious, airy kitchen. Nothing like the small open kitchen in your studio apartment. The moment you step inside, you're startled by the sight of the kitchen table already lined with the mesas, salads, and other dishes. I don't know what this is. Soren, really, you didn't need to go through all this trouble. He's standing at the counter with his back to you, turns his head at the sound of your voice. You told me lately you've been skipping meals because of work. We need to take care of your nutrition, darling. I don't want you to get sick. Oh, you can't even remember when you said that to him. Probably it just slipped out during one of your usual phone rants about how your boss dumps all the work on you. Yet somehow he always seems to care more about the things you say than even you do. Your voice quivers slightly as you speak. It's very thoughtful. Thank you. Don't mention it, darling. You know I always enjoy doing things for you. So don't worry about anything tonight, just enjoy it. Um, I guess we're going to chill in the living room. You leave Soren in the kitchen and head to the living room, deciding to take a moment for yourself and your decision. Otherwise, the guilt might make you look back out of the conversation you're planning to have over dinner at any second. Of course, you can't compare your relationship with Soren to your previous ones. Among all your past boyfriends, he was the one who showed you the most care and attention. And he entered your life at a moment when you needed someone the most, proving that miracles can still happen in this world. Even so, that didn't guarantee your relationship would last forever, or that your feelings would never change. Just like now. You're grateful for having met him, and for the time you spent together. No matter how he reacts to your decision to break up, that truth won't change. At least you hope it won't. Moments later, you hear his footsteps approaching the living room. And now everything's ready. We can move to the table, darling. Your final dinner with Soren begins like any other, despite the tension churning inside you. As the scent of the warm lamb chops he's just served reaches your nose, you realize you're actually hungry. He takes his seat across from you at the table and offers an encouraging smile. Please try it, love. I hope you'll like it. After everything he's done to prepare this for you, there's no way you could refuse. You pick up your fork under his attentive gaze and bring one of the pre-sliced pieces to your mouth. You don't need to be a gourmet to know this is perfection. The crispness of the outside, the tenderness of the juicy center, the way every spice is balanced just right. You've always known he was skilled in the kitchen, but this is flawless. Absolutely perfect. I've never had anything like it in my life. He doesn't just react to the compliment himself. What satisfies him more is what he sees in your face, in your eyes. Even in the soft glow of the candlelight, you can tell the emotion welling up behind his gaze. Smiling, he leans forward to refill your wine glass. I'm so glad to hear that, love. For the next minute or so, the only sounds are the rain tapping against the window and your utensils against the plate. Even Princess is absent, granting you both a moment of rare privacy. Only one option here. Your gaze drifts towards the window, noticing the rain outside is picked up. The thought of car journey in this weather begins to feel more and more unappealing. Besides, you're not exactly eager to leave this warm, peaceful home and return to your own small but chaotic studio apartment. You decide the breakup conversation can wait a little longer. So I'm assuming that if this bar was full, that last choice would have been a breakup. To be continued. Alright, skip to dry cleaners. The priority tonight is clear. You need to have that talk with Soren. What you'll wear to your best friend's birthday party tomorrow, that's tomorrow's problem. You know Soren won't mind the delay, but you refuse to stack another lie onto this guilt. Besides, every minute you delay is another crack in your resolve. If you don't do this now, you'll chicken out again. The metro's doors slide shut behind you, stealing the choice. It shouldn't hurt this much, just a stupid dress, just one missed party, but your chest tightens anyway. Like I said, it's a birthday party, go anyway. You rush home, sour in a haze, and throw on something comfortable before sliding into the waiting Uber. Since Soren's place is quite far from the city center, you have plenty of time during the journey, and the question that has been weighing on your mind for days resurfaces once again. Is breaking up with him truly the right decision? If you were to bypass your indecisive reasoning and just trust your feelings just as you intend to tonight, you would find your answer crystal clear. You no longer want to continue this relationship. There's something wrong here, something that simply feels wrong to you. Just then your phone buzzes with a notification, pulling you from your thoughts. Assuming it's a message from your boyfriend, you reach for your phone, but the name that flashes across the screen makes your heart involuntarily quicken its pace. Lars. Your ex. The ex has been creeping into my mind. Alright, this time... No, we're gonna text Lars. Finally, you overcome your hesitation and let your fingers tap against the keyboard. Hi Lars, yeah, it really has been a while. I haven't decided about the party yet. Truthfully, since you highly doubt you'll find anything decent to wear by tomorrow, you'll probably end up using your breakup as an excuse to skip your friend's birthday party altogether. Either way, there's no need for Lars to know all that. Why did our bar go down? Your thumb hovers over send, just as you're about to slide the phone into your pocket, another vibration pulses against your palm. The speed of the reply surprises you, especially considering Lars was never exactly known for being prompt when it came to answering texts. I understand. I also realized my question must have sounded stupid. I'm so stupid. Lars. I eat donuts. I just figured you'd be coming with your boyfriend. And if you were going to be there, I was thinking of skipping it. Now I'm just as undecided as you are. There's something about Lars's message so different from the careless, confident attitude you remember that leaves you momentarily unsure of how to interpret them. He's scared of Soren. He's seen into Soren's undead, unblinking eyes. And seen God. What you do understand is that he seems less interested in whether you're attending the party and more concerned about whether your boyfriend will be there. But why? A strange unease stirs inside you as you realize that, beyond you, Soren and Lars have absolutely nothing in common. Should you ask him about it, or should you end the conversation here and focus on the last evening you'll spend with Soren? I need to know. The gnawing pull of curiosity quickly overwhelms your hesitation, feeding your unease. So, whether you go on the party depends on us. Thankfully, tonight Lars seems to have abandoned all his old habits, and he doesn't avoid giving you a clear, direct answer. Yes. Or rather, I'm obviously not lumping you in with him. I just don't want to run into your boyfriend and end up ruining the night for both of us. A thought you never would have considered, something that had never even crossed your mind, suddenly surfaces. Did something happen between you and Soren behind my back? This time, even though you see that Lars is online, he doesn't reply right away. I hope Soren kneecapped him in a parking lot or something. Well, you'd be better off asking him that. Ooh, new dialogue options. It's not my place to interfere in your relationship. It's just, thinking back to the past, I wish things had turned out differently. Though you know Lars was never the kind to apologize to anyone, his final message somehow feel like an apology. Yeah, might as well. Everything you once lived with him, the memories, the regrets, the endless what ifs, comes rushing back to you life in your mind. There's a bond between you and Lars, one so passionate, thrilling, and complicated that you could never truly deny it. So, in the game description, it said that Lars cheated on the main character a lot. She's like, oh yeah, I need to get back with that guy. That's crazy. No matter what you did, it was a connection you could never fully break. Was he your first? I don't know. Me too. Shit! The moment you hit send, the weight of what you've done crashes over you. You realize with a sinking feeling how foolish you must seem, and deep regret grips you. But it's already too late. You can see that Lars has read your message. Without waiting for any response, you shut off your phone in shame and shove it deep into your pocket, leaning your forehead against the car window as you struggle to steady your breathing. And yet, are you completely sorry for what you've done? That's a question you can't answer so easily. As you step out of the Uber, you notice that the light patter of raindrops tapping against the car window is turned into a steady downpour. You pick up your pace, crossing the small garden of Soren's house, an old but sturdy-looking two-story detached home as renovations perpetually postponed. You rush between the pergola at the entrance, doing your best to shield yourself from the rain. As you press the doorbell, you take a moment to notice how the neighborhood, made up of entirely similar detached houses, remains just as calm and quiet as ever, rain or not. Soon the muffled sound of footsteps and distant dog barks pierce through the hum of the rain. When the door swings open, and there he is. Big man Soren. Despite the difference in your heights, he leans forward just enough for you to clearly see the warm smile spreading across his face. Welcome, love. Come on in, don't get any wetter. He steps aside to let you in. As you cross the threshold, the familiar warmth of the house wraps around you. The contrast between it and the cool, damp air outside, or perhaps the weight of what's about to happen, sends a faint shiver down your spine. Just then, Soren closes the door swiftly behind you and turns to face you. Alright, we're gonna do nothing. It might be best to put a little distance between you and him, especially with the breakup talk still looming ahead. So instead of hugging or kissing him like you usually would, you settle for a warm smile. Unlike you, Soren leans in and presses a small kiss to your cheek, either unaware of your reserved demeanor or choosing to ignore it. Nice. Just then, the dog trots over to the door where you're both standing, her tiny body trembling with excitement as she begins to growl at you, surprising volume for her size. Alright, we're going to skip this dialogue, and then we're going to ask him to put the dog in the room. Don't ask about the dog's condition. Hell yeah. Be a dick. The last thing you want to think about right now is Princess, as you skip over any updates about her condition without a second thought. After all, she was the one who ruined your video call last night, the one that delayed this breakup conversation to tonight. The moment you step into the living room, the mouth-watering aroma of fried ribs spills out from the kitchen, wrapping around you. Alright, now we're gonna ask him about... Oh, we didn't get to ask him to put the dog away this time because we didn't ask about the condition. Alright, we'll just stay here. Before such an important conversation, you need a moment alone to gather your courage. Taking a deep breath, you sit on the couch. The wooden display cabinets, drawers, trinkets, porcelain, everything in the room, like the rest of the house, still preserves the arrangement inherited from Soren's grandfather and grandmother. So he inherited his house. Everything feels so familiar and comforting. As the rain outside intensifies, the murmur of raindrops hitting the windows grows louder, and you find yourself feeling surprisingly peaceful, as if you truly belong here. You know that by breaking up with him, you'll be saying goodbye to not only him, but all these beautiful memories as well. I think it's giving us more options to turn back. Let me see what this... Yeah, it brings it down. Your eyes catch on the family photos scattered across many corners of the room. You've often heard Soren talk about his happy childhood, unlike yours. You get up from the couch and approach a console, picking up one of the framed pictures on top. It's an old childhood photo of Soren, but you're not supposed to see him posing with the same quiet, composed demeanor he has now. The young woman hugging him beams at the camera, radiantly beautiful and effortlessly charming despite her simple dress. You recognize her as his mother, who passed away from illness when he was very young. Behind him are his warm-looking grandmother and, in contrast, a large, stern-faced grandfather, more serious than the others in the photo, but somehow still trustworthy, and clearly the one Soren most resembles. After losing his parents early in life, Soren had been raised in this house by his grandparents, and he had always spoken of them with love. Even though they're no longer alive, the love they gave him still lives on within him. Moments like this make it hard not to envy him for growing up in a warm, loving, and secure home. Even though both your parents are still alive, that hasn't made a difference. You've always felt far removed from their affection. As you continue looking at the framed photos, something catches your attention. There isn't a single photo of Soren's father, who you know died in an accident before he was born. In fact, you can't even remember whether he's ever said anything about him. Weird. You're surprised at your sudden interest in the family of a boyfriend you're planning to break up with, yet a deep curiosity stirs within you. Check it. You easily find the family album Soren has shown you a few times before, sitting next to the heavy encyclopedias in one of the wooden cabinets. Your own family has never had enough good memories to fill such a thick album, so these held a special place for you. Maybe you'll come across a photo of his father in one of them. Before flipping through the albums, you don't forget to call out to him from the living room entrance. I'm going to take a quick look at your family albums. Is that okay? Of course, sweetheart. Whatever you like, feel free. Sounds from the kitchen are enough to tell you that he's quite busy. At least until he returns, you can pass the time flipping through the thick albums. Despite all the dust you end up inhaling, you find plenty of photos of Soren's mother as a child and young woman, and even of his grandparents in their youth. You also spot several dogs, much larger breeds compared to Princess, but no one who might be Soren's father. Just as you pull the album from the edge of the shelf, a small notebook wedged behind it falls to the floor. The illustration on the cover, a knight in full armor on horseback, instantly reminds you of Soren's fascination with medieval armor and weapons, and you wonder if this might be an old journal of his. Okay. You set aside the photo album, eagerly flip through the notebook's pages, only to be disappointed when you realize most of it is filled with handwritten recipes. Definitely not a vegan's every dish features meat. Considering his grandfather was a butcher, you can't exactly blame Soren. His handwriting looks like this. Oh, the handwriting looks like his. But deeper in, small newspaper clippings glued to the pages grab your attention. Most are old, missing person reports, accidents, suicides. You're puzzled. Oh no, is he eating people? He's never been into true crime documentaries or films, unlike you, so why did he collect these as a child? As you skim, one headline stops you cold. Famous actor drives car off cliff, body still recovered. An accompanying photo dominates the page, likely because it made the front page. As someone who once took acting classes and still harbors that passion, the story pulls you in. Yet the longer you stare at the actor's face, the more unease prickles under your skin. Huh. A soft growl makes you turn. Princess has left her bed and is now tugging at a photo from the album you left on the floor. Before you can stop yourself, you shout, "Fuck, drop it right now." You lunge for the album, but the dog, now defiant, rips the photo clean in half with your teeth. God damn it. Soren's footsteps hurry into the room. Sweetheart, what's wrong? Did Princess do some... Oh. He freezes, staring at the torn photo in your hands. I'm so sorry, I didn't even notice her coming. He takes the fragments, checking the date on the back. This was the last photo we took together, before my mother died. Aw, shit. Oh god, what have I done? Don't blame yourself, at least all the pieces are here. Maybe we can restore it digitally with AI. His voice is gentle, but his grip on the fragments is white-knuckled. You've torn more than paper. That was not my fault. I really didn't see her. I know, just bad luck. He kisses your cheek in forgiveness, but you don't buy it. As he helps gather the albums and carries the fragments to his room, you know his mood is ruined. And you've barely been here half an hour. This is what you get for snooping through people's private things. Your final dinner with Soren begins like any other, despite the tension churning inside you. As the scent of the warm lamb chops he's just served reaches your nose, you realize you're actually hungry. He takes a seat across from you at the table and offers an encouraging smile. Try it, love, I hope you'll like it. After everything he's done to prepare us for you, there's no way you could refuse. You pick up your fork under his attentive gaze and bring one of the pre-sliced pieces to your mouth. Alright, this is all the same. Yeah, okay. So... yeah. Cut the sentimentality and focus on your decision, but this isn't your first time. Of course you can't compare your relationship with Soren to your previous ones. Amongst all your boyfriends, he's the one who showed you the most care and attention. And he entered your life the moment you need someone the most, proving that miracles can still happen in this world. Even so, that didn't guarantee your relationship would last forever, or that your feelings would never change. Just like now. You're grateful for having met him, and for the first time you spent together. No matter how he reacts to your decision to break up, that truth won't change. At least you hope it won't. Moments later, you hear his footsteps approaching the living room. And now everything's ready. We can move to the table, darling. Your final dinner with Soren begins like any other, despite the tension churning within you. Alright. This is all the same. Tell him now. Alright. There's nothing to gain from waiting any longer. You believe he deserves to know why you really came here. If you delay it much more, you might lose the resolve to go through with it. You slowly set your fork on the edge of your plate and, mustering all your courage, lift your gaze to meet his. There's something I need to talk to you about. A flicker of surprise crosses his face at the seriousness in your voice. Ooh, here it comes. Even so, when he speaks, his tone is just as soft and understanding as always. Of course, love, I'm always ready to listen to you. You take a deep breath, keeping your eyes on his. No stalling, no sugarcoating. I've been feeling like something's different lately, about our relationship. Though the surprise in his expression deepens, he says nothing. He just watches you in silence, waiting, always waiting for you to finish. It's one of the things you've always loved most about him. And also in his moment, one of the hardest to face. His way of truly listening and giving weight to every word you say. But there's no turning back now. You have to follow through. This isn't easy to say, but I think we need to break up. The tension in the room is so thick, your words seem to hang in the air like smoke. His expression doesn't change. It's bombastic side eye, but you notice his eyes drift to his wine glass instead of staying on you. You give him space, time to take it in. The sound of rain outside seems to grow louder, pressing into the silence between you. When he finally looks back at you, the warm light that's always lived in his eyes is gone. I don't believe you made this decision on impulse, Brittany. Did I do something without realizing? Something that hurt you? His voice is so gentle, so considerate, that his response fills you with guilt, even though you know how deeply this must be hurting him. No, no, never. Honestly, it's quite the opposite, Soren. Out of all the men who've come and gone in my life, you are by far the best. The thought of losing you, it hurts me, too. Still, none of that changes the quiet certainty that breaking up is the right thing to do. You speak again quickly, not wanting to give him room to hope. This is about me, my feelings. I just don't think I can return your love the way you deserve. I don't think I can be truly happy in this relationship. I want someone as crappy as me. He finally speaks, his voice quieter, more subdued. How long have you felt this way? Or rather, how long have you known? You hesitate, knowing too much detail would do more harm than good, but you can't ignore his question. Since things got more serious between us, but the last month, it's become something I just can't look past. I see. I'm sorry I hurt you. I'm sorry for saying this during a dinner you prepared so thoughtfully, but I couldn't keep it to myself any longer. You deserve to know. This time, the smile that forms on his lips is a little forced, wounded, but still kind. Please don't feel guilty, Brittany. Of course, we didn't enter this relationship expecting it to end this way, but not every relationship concludes as we hope. That's perfectly normal. It doesn't mean either of us did something wrong. You realize that by delaying this conversation for so long, you've only tortured yourself and in a way, been unfair to him. In the end, your coworker was right. Soren accepted your decision with grace, effortlessly dismantling the baseless fears you carried for so long. Once again, your instincts, those that had pulled you into the wrong relationship time and time again, have proven to be flawed. He is truly different from all the others. In fact, he's perfect. And if you'd ever managed to escape the ghosts of your past relationships, maybe, just maybe, you could have quieted the part of your heart that refused to let him in. Things between you could have been still different, so much better. I'm lucky to have met you, Soren. You don't hesitate as you reach for the hand he gently extends to you across the table. A familiar warmth flows into you, melting away all the tension that had clung onto you to Davies. In this moment, you trust him more than ever. And I'm lucky to have you, Brittany. You've always been special to me, and you always will be. You can catch the glow in his eyes. You catch the glow in his eyes grow brighter, but it doesn't last long. He gently pulls his hand back and slowly rises from his chair. Well then, I think we've come to a conclusion on this unpleasant but necessary matter. How about we continue dinner where we left off as good friends? I'll bring out dessert. Before leaving the room, he pauses at the doorway and glances back at you. Of course, if you'd rather not stay, I can call a taxi to take you home. You narrow your eyes towards the clock above the fireplace. It's gotten quite late. Yet spending time with him makes you feel better than you have in a long while. And you can't help but think about how lonely he might feel if you left him like this. I could never say no to dessert, especially yours. You notice a subtle lift in his expression, and knowing your choice made him a little happier fills you with relief. All right then, I'll be back. As he disappears into the kitchen, you let out a long breath. There's a strange lightness in your chest, part sadness, part calm. A moment later, he returns with your favorite dessert, creme brulee. There's still a shadow behind his eye, but the warmth in his smile quietly assures you that things are okay. The two of you enjoy the dessert while watching a comedy, never once bringing up the breakup again. In fact, the way he occasionally comments on the jokes only makes you laugh harder. It reminds you of the easy, joyful moments from when your relationship was just beginning. By the end of the night, you can't refuse when he offers to drive you home himself. Neither of you speaks as the car glides along the rain-slick streets, but the silence isn't awkward. It's filled with peaceful acceptance. When you arrive in front of your crowded apartment building, he turns to you. Brittany, I want you to know you can always reach out to me if you need anything. Being friends doesn't change that. His words tighten something in your throat, but you still manage to smile. The same goes for you, Soren. Thank you. Really. Good night. Good night. After a month. Did you make the changes I asked for before we sent it to the client? You're trying to stay calm despite your boss's usual irritating tone. Yes. All of them? Yes. Did you double check? Yes. Are you sure? Yes. Then why have they been calling me nonstop since the beginning of the meeting? Your boss's voice starts composed and ends in a shout, casting sudden silence over the entire office. How should I know? Your unexpected reply draws stunned looks from your coworkers. Your boss's face flushes bright red with rage just as the phone rings again. He answers and puts the call on speaker. A familiar, dreaded voice fills the room. It's the client who's made your life hell lately. Hello? Hello, Mr. Miles. Sorry for the delay. I was in a meeting. Is there an issue with the proposal we sent? Your boss's tone is now softer than a purring kitten after a warm meal. No, quite the opposite. I just wanted to say how pleased I am with everything. The changes you made, though you didn't inform me in advance, turned out to be very appropriate and necessary. Thank you. Your boss's face goes blank with confusion. You, on the other hand, shoot a smug I told you so glance around the room. I'm glad to hear that, unless there's anything else I need to take care of, something urgent. Of course, have a great day. Your boss swallows hard a few times, clearly lost for words, before deciding to pretend nothing happened. Hell yeah. He takes a sip of his coffee only to grimace. Ugh, cold. Anyway, let's not drag meetings out like this again. That's all for now. As the meeting ends and your colleagues start filing out, you rise to leave, but your boss's voice stops you. Brittany, could you stay a minute? You ignore the meaningful look your coworker throws your way and comply. Once everyone else is gone, your boss turns to you with a surprisingly softer expression. That was good work. How would you feel about grabbing dinner sometime? You pause a little too long, thrown off by the absurdity of this meeting, and how it's now delaying your work even more. Is this a surprise business dinner? Oh no. So we're not meeting a client? No, I mean yes, I mean no, no client. Then I'll go ahead and book the usual table for the team. Your boss's face immediately returns to its usual strictness. For God's sake, Brittany, no client, no team. I'm talking about just dinner, just the two of us. Oh, now I get it. Thank God. So how about tonight? Oh, I already have plans for tonight. In that case, Saturday evening? Well, actually, a friend of mine was in a terrible car accident. Thankfully, nothing serious, but his arm is in a cast, so I need to be there to help him out. Just tell him no. Your boss visibly stiffens at this answer, but chooses not to push you further. I see. Another time then. I just wanted to apologize. Apologize? Concerning your boss's usual angry demeanor, even that could be considered progress. You're busy too. I'm sure it wasn't intentional. Just, if you'd let me leave a few hours early today, I'd appreciate it. I'm going to pick up the friend I mentioned. I hope it's Lars. Of course, I hope your friend gets well soon. When you return to your desk in high spirits after leaving your boss behind in the meeting room, your coworker pounces with excitement. What did he say? Tell me right now or I'll die of curiosity. I'll never forget the look on his face when the client thanked him over the phone. Ha ha ha. Wish I'd taken a photo. Wait, did he actually apologize to you? As you sit down and toss the files onto your desk, you mutter, Sort of. He invited me to dinner as an apology. Just then, your coworker was raising her mug to her lips and spits out her sip. What? Calm down, you'll choke. Under the strange looks of a few people passing in front of your desk, you help her clean herself and the desk with a napkin. Ignoring the coffee stain on her shirt, she immediately turns back to you. Oh shit! I never thought he was that type. He seemed like a true workaholic who didn't care about anything except the clients. But look at that, he even found out about your breakup with Soren. So, what did you say to him? Wait, are you saying he was flirting with me? It just felt like a simple thank you to me. Do you have any idea how much trouble we were in with that client? You should be happy we finally made him happy. Your coworker shoots you a disbelieving look. Are you serious, Brittany? Last week I broke my back trying to convince some client not to cancel, and I didn't get any dinner invitations. You consider that she might be right, but honestly, you don't really care. Maybe he was just in a good mood. Either way, I don't think I'll be going out to dinner with anyone anytime soon. You know I can't leave Soren alone after that car crash, so for a while... Hearing this, your coworker also turns serious and drops the flirting topic. Right, how's he doing? Physically, pretty good. The arm in a cast limits movement, of course. When we walk his dog every day, I have to hold the leash, or that little devil will immediately pick a fight with someone. Psychologically, yes? He paused for a moment, sighing involuntarily. To be honest, I have no idea. He seems happy as always, but the more I think about the time of the accident, the worse I feel. Your coworker gently places a hand on your shoulder. But how could that be your fault? You don't actually think he crashed because he was driving you home, do you? That's totally coincidental. Oh, the car crash happened right after the dinner? I doubt that. What I did that night was incredibly selfish. I showed up to the dinner he carefully prepared for me, and out of nowhere I told him I wanted to break up. Then I just ate dessert like nothing happened and let him drive me home in that terrible weather. I didn't even stop to think how he might have felt. Well, if something worse had happened in that crash, I think I'm becoming like my exes, irresponsible, heartless, like Lars. You can't finish that sentence, but confessing what's been on your mind for the past month brings a strange sense of relief. A sad expression spreads over your coworker's face. Brittany, you're nothing like them. You're being too hard on yourself. Right now, what Soren needs is someone by his side, and you're doing exactly that. Honestly, I bet you didn't think much about him. I bet you didn't think about him this much, even when you were still together. He must be surprised too. In the silence that follows, the background clatter of keyboards and phone rings in the office drift to your ears. You realize your attachment to Soren is deepened since the accident, whether it's from guilt or fear of losing him. The fact that it happened right after the breakup terrifies you. But for now, you decide not to dwell on it. You might be right. Anyway, I need to wrap up and head out. I can't waste the time off I got from the boss. Say, boss? Your coworker reels from the second shock of the day. That man definitely has a thing for women who piss him off. You leave your coworker alone with her brilliant observations and return to your work. After a while, you say goodbye to her and step outside with the well-earned pride of being the first to leave the office. Soren's car is waiting for you in the company parking lot. Due to his arm being in a cast, you've been driving for him, and now you're rushing to pick him up from his doctor's appointment without delay. I'm trying to think. Could you drive a car with one arm? I think you could. I think it's doable. You could probably drive a car with one arm like a normal guy. Still, thanks to traffic, you don't manage to arrive before his appointment ends. Nice. As soon as Soren sees you in front of the hospital, he smiles. You're still wearing the same Christmas sweater. You really didn't need to come. I was going to take a taxi anyway. No way. I can't allow that as your personal chauffeur. How did the checkup go? It went well, but they said we need to wait a few more weeks before removing the cast. Though his smile remains, you can detect a hint of unease in his eyes. Brittany, I understand you're trying to help, and I'll always be grateful for that. Still, if you're getting tired, I can ask another friend for help. You've already done so much for me. Have you really done enough? Logic tells you to say yes, to say goodbye to him and go back to your own house, to stop living in the guest room of your ex-boyfriend's house. But your heart says it's too soon. You can wait a little longer, at least until he is fully recovered. With mock seriousness, you frown. Don't be ridiculous, Soren. You'll never find another driver as good as me, and the dog walker, and the chef. Your joke seems to dispel the shadows in his eyes. His voice now sounds lighter, more relaxed. I'm not so sure about the last one. Why don't we eat out today? I've heard there's a nice restaurant nearby. I doubt it's as delicious as my lasagna. You mean your burnt lasagna? Not burnt, extra crispy. Now get in the car before I change my mind and drive us straight home. Nice. You were a bad girlfriend, but now you are a good friend. Neutral ending. Okay, so that means that first ending probably wasn't an ending. We'll try and get the bar. We'll try and get the bar either all the way up or all the way down. We'll see how that happens. All right. Oh, what the hell? We can't kiss him? We're gonna ask about it. Ah, you sense Soren isn't pleased with your request. The way his eyes narrow slightly gives it away. But you really can't spend the whole meal locked in a silent staring contest with the chihuahua who's ready to leap at your throat. Of course I can take her, but since I can't close the door on her, you know she might come back. You suddenly recall when he once told you that Princess has trauma being around shut-in rooms. Oh right, I forgot. In moments like these, you can't help but think how Princess is luckier than you. At least she has an owner who makes her feel safe and loved, someone who's always watching over her. Unlike you, she doesn't have a single doubt in her mind. Don't worry, sweetheart, he says, misreading your tension. She'll probably head to her bed soon. Okay. Okay, so staying here is gonna bring it all the way down. Don't look inside the notebook. Did you pick up the notebook and return it to the shelf? You notice Princess slinking toward the photo album. You know exactly how much Soren treasures those family photos. Moving quickly, you lift the heavy album in one smooth motion, thwarting the level devil's plans. Thought you'd ruin the album in my relationship with him, didn't you, you sneaky little demon? Not that you don't want the same outcome, just not like this. Princess snarls in frustration, her plot foiled. Is Princess bothering you, sweetheart? No, everything's fine. Oh, what the hell? He also in the kitchen. Bothering you, sweetheart? No, everything's fine. We're getting along great. Don't worry. I'm almost done. The thought of having to break up with him after his dog destroyed precious family photos. You can't imagine worse atmosphere for that conversation. Okay, so the bar is really low. Alright, here, we'll try and get that bar all the way down. So we're gonna go to the dry cleaners. We're not going to talk to Lars. Oh, well, that's the wrong answer, crap. We're going to talk to Lars, but we're not going to do the end. Now we get to kiss him. As you step closer, trying to suppress the tension building inside you, the scent of his cologne suddenly fills your nose. Fresh, clean, and somehow teasing enough to stir something in you. Before you even realize what you're doing, you rise slightly on your toes and lean in towards his lips. It's already too late to pull back. Soren responds with just the slightest pressure and warmth against your mouth, a fleeting touch. Of course, there remains a single greeting kiss, a simple greeting kiss rather than deepening into passion, perfectly in keeping with Soren's usual reserve in such matters, and perfectly suited to how this evening should progress. As you pull away with a smile, you feel his eyes lingering on you. For the briefest second, you could swear the calm softness in his expression shifts into something else, something more difficult to name. Alright. We're gonna ask. That's how soft laugh at your question. Unfortunately, she wasn't patient enough to wait for dinner with you, my love. Of course, that's not exactly what you meant, especially with Princess glaring at you like a tiny beast ready to pounce. Thankfully, he seems to notice your unease and doesn't push the joke any further. Alright. And then I want to save here. Alright, I want to see if we can ask him about Lars. I'm going to offer to help him. Driven by a definite need to ease your guilt, you jump in. I want to help. I can chop those spinach leaves, for example. He lifts his head from the bowl he's mixing ingredients in and glances at the bunch of spinach you point to, smiling. I think we already have enough spinach for the salad, darling. Just having you here is enough for me. But if you really insist, I'd appreciate if you could tidy up a bit, especially if you could put those spinach leaves back in the fridge before they spoil any further. Oh, of course. You're relieved to have something to do as you begin putting away the items that have been used in the meal prep and then forgotten. At the very least, you hope that after everything is over and you leave this house, you'll have shortened that painful phase when Soren cleans up and feels like all his effort was for nothing. Meanwhile, your eyes are drawn to a small pile of knives stacked haphazardly at the far end of the table. They are clearly large, broad, and sturdy, no doubt about that, but you can't quite imagine what they'd be used for in a normal kitchen. And despite how solid they look, the knives seem quite old, judging by their worn handles and dull sheen. They've definitely been used many times. Even without leaning in too close, you can smell the harsh scent of cleaning chemicals that's clinging to them. Let's go ahead and ask him. Unable to contain your curiosity, you call out to him, who still has his back to you. What are those knives for? Caught off guard by the sudden question, he turns towards you with the pan still in his hand. Huh? Oh, those are my grandfather's butcher knives. When he closed the shop, He sold most of the large tools and machines, but he kept the knives because he loved them. You lightly touch the sharp edge of one of the blades with your finger. They still seem pretty sharp. Do you use them often? He chuckles softly and returns the pan to the stove. They still come in handy from time to time, sure, but mostly I just clean them now and then and keep them for sentimental reasons. Let me handle them, sweetheart. You might hurt yourself. You're right. I'm clumsy enough as it is. Suspicious. Murder knives. Heeding his warning, you back away from the knives and open the fridge door to put away the last items from the table. As you do, your attention is drawn to the top shelf, packed with plastic wrapped packages of meat. It's clear he recently stocked up, but there's a problem. Only a few packages seem store-bought. Most of them don't have any kind of label indicating date, type, or weight. A chill runs down your spine. What if the mouth-watering smell filling the kitchen right now is coming from one of those packages? Where'd you get this meat, Soren? I don't see any dates on them. You can't stop your voice from trembling slightly. They're fresh cuts from a butcher I trust. There's absolutely nothing to worry about, sweetheart. I'd never poison you. You're always safe with me. Oh, it's not what I meant. Your cheeks flush involuntarily, and you feel embarrassed, as if a secret had just slipped out. The memory is still fresh. Your mother, who was never fond of cooking or taking care of you or your sister, once poisoned you both with expired food while trying to prove something to your constantly criticizing father. It was something you never told anyone, not even Soren. Trying to brush it off and move past the odd moment, you say the first thing that comes to mind. You've definitely been eating a lot of meat lately. Just trying to stick to the diet with the new weight training I've started, so tell me, do you think it's paying off? I doubt I can give a proper answer with that sweater on. Oh! The words slip out before you can stop them, and you immediately regret your thoughtless remark, but his response catches you even more off guard. I could take it off if you'd like. As your gaze shifts to him, you catch something intense in his eyes, and you feel a rush of heat start in your belly and spread through your body. You hadn't had sex with him since the thought of breaking up first crossed your mind. That period has been unusually long for you, yet you never thought of it as strange. Soren has always been more reserved and understanding than your previous boyfriends, and intimacy was never a big part of your relationship. But now, you notice he's being more forward than ever. Unless you're going to burn the meat. I'm not. Your silence trails off towards the end of the sentence, fading into silence. It feels like your reason is clashing with your impulses, but before you can tell which side is winning, he turns off the stove with a teasing smile and walks towards you. As the distance between you vanishes, his hand slides to your waist, pulling you toward him. When his lips touch your neck, you forget everything for a moment, including the pain. Oh, including your plan to break up with him? His warm lips travel up from your neck to your ear, lightly biting your earlobe, sending a hot shiver down your spine as he whispers, "I'll take it off after dinner. That way, I won't have to put it back on." Crazy. The mention of dinner triggers alarm bells in your head, and just like that, you manage to pull yourself away from him and his effect on you, at least for now. He, as if he wasn't trying to seduce you moments ago, continues in a casual tone. "If you want, we can sit down before the meat gets cold." Sure. You pause for a moment before leaving the kitchen, trying to make sense of what just happened. Thinking about having a quickie with your soon-to-be ex-boyfriend in the kitchen is, quite frankly, unbelievable. Your inability to control your impulses is clearly still a serious problem for you. You vividly remember how Lars noticed this issue and used it against you time and again during your relationship. Could Soren be about to do the same? He could never be like Lars. Fuck Lars. In both good and bad ways. But could you fall for the same trick twice? Lars' charm had been tested and approved by many. You can't really say the same for Soren, but that doesn't mean you don't find him attractive. On the contrary, you feel like he's already succeeded in messing with your head. If you're feeling this way before dinner even starts, you can't imagine what the end of the evening will bring. Still, you know you have to take your chance. Final dinner with Soren begins like any other. Okay. It's the same. Alright. Look at the dog. A low growl from Princess's bed catches your attention. Maybe someday you'll even miss this little demon. Though her eye appears closed, her ears stand rigid, tracking your every move. No, you definitely won't miss her. Then something under her bed snags your notice. Too dark to make out, but she's clearly dragged her blanket to cover some suspicious bulge there. Smart enough to hide things, stupid enough to be obvious about it. Check the bed. As you rise cautiously to your feet and approach, the Chihuahua lifts her nose high in the air but remains perfectly still. Encouraged by her lack of movement, you slowly lean toward her bed. Easy, princess, I'm just checking something, and I swear, even if you stole one of his used boxers, I won't make a fuss. Though Princess bares her teeth at your absurd muttering, she doesn't lunge. Maintaining your calm, you reach around to the other side of the tiny bed and slip your hand beneath it, quickly pulling out whatever soft thing your fingers brush against. To be honest, Princess's secret treasure isn't quite worthy of the mystery, just a small, tattered, cheap plush toy far past its prime. She probably snuck it back without Soren's knowledge after it had already been set aside to be thrown out. Yet the moment you see the toy, a strange familiar feeling creeps over you. It's as if something stirs in the back of your mind, a memory, a sense. The dog's sudden bark nearly makes you jump out of your skin, and you drop the toy in alarm. Easy, girl, easy, calm down. But it doesn't take long to realize you're already too late. In an instant, the once motionless dog turns fair and clamps down on your leg with shocking speed. Oh, fuck! With a surge of pain, you shake her off roughly and collapse onto the couch, just as you hear your boyfriend's panicked footsteps approaching. Baby, what happened? Are you okay? She bit me! When you glance toward the bed to point at the culprit, she's already vanished. Naturally, with the toy in tow. That little possessive devil. Oh my god, I'm so sorry. He rushes to your side and kneels in front of you, eyes wide with concern. Where'd she bite you? Is it bleeding? You rub your leg, and now the shock is wearing off, you feel a milder ache. I don't think it's too bad, but it hurt. We need to take a look and disinfect it. As he reaches toward your leg to help you pull down the long stocking beneath your skirt, you feel your cheeks flush with heat. Not just from the physical closeness, but from that same old dread, that sudden vulnerability of exposing your body, even if just for a moment. Even though he has seen you naked countless times, it doesn't erase the shame. The scars that once marked your body as evidence of your pain may have faded over time, but the ones in your mind remain untouched. Your only solace is that Axel, the one who gifted you that trauma, never reappeared after your breakup. He's gone from your life. Unlike you, Soren is focused entirely on the bite mark on your leg. Thankfully, it's not too deep. I'll grab the first aid kit right away. Watching him rush off stirs something strange in you. He genuinely cares. There's someone in your life who truly cares. And even though that will disappear the moment you share the news of your breakup, the thought brings you a brief sense of warmth. When he returns with the first aid kit, the small wound, one you would normally ignore, gets cleaned and dressed with the utmost care. Does it still hurt, darling? Not really, I'm feeling better. This is my fault. I should have been more careful. I shouldn't have left you two alone. No, Soren, really, it's fine. We'll save this. I want to see both of these. I guess I might have provoked her a little. Oh, bars all the way down. Hell yeah. He lifts his head, eyebrows raised, leaning in closer to your face. How? Oh, well, it's kind of silly. I just noticed something under a bed and got curious. Turned out to just be a toy. Well, apparently a very beloved one, because the moment she saw it in my hand, she lunged. When he continues staring at you with utmost seriousness, saying nothing, you can't help yourself. Aren't you going to say anything? Now I understand. You sit up straight, curiosity taking over. Understand what? His sudden burst of laughter makes you forget the unpleasantness of just moments ago. Who's been rummaging through my trash? Of course. Relieved that the matter seems resolved, you reach down to pull your stocking back up, only for his hands to suddenly close around yours, stopping you. You freeze, taken off guard by that unexpected heat of his palms. Then he leans in, bringing his face close to your leg. You feel his breath, hot, steady against your bare thigh, and then his lips follow. A tremor runs through you from head to toe. Emotions you can't quite name clash violently inside you. And yet, it's just a small kiss. He rises again with a carefree grin, completely unaware of the storm he's just stirred. I'd better check the meat before it burns. I'll be right back. You avert your gaze quickly. Oh, right. You already know with absolute certainty that tonight is going to be difficult. Your final dinner with Soren begins like any other, despite the tension churning inside you. Same. Same ending. Okay. Let's see what the last thing is. But what if she'd actually hurt you? You know you have to stop him. You were in the next room anyway, and I hope you don't actually think I couldn't handle her. He doesn't look convinced. He studies you as if weighing your words. Not entirely sure. You give him a playful punch on the shoulder and smile. But then, just for a moment, his gaze grows serious again. I really need to get Princess into some proper training. I can't put it off any longer. Relieved that the matter seems resolved, you reach down to pull your stocking back up, only for his hands to suddenly close around yours, stopping you. Freeze, taken off guard. Alright guys, that's going to do it for my video on the early access version of how to break up with your Yandere boyfriend. The full version, as of me editing this, is not currently out, but I will most likely play it. I said something about it in the original outro of this, like 15 likes and I'll play it. But I'll probably play it anyway just because I enjoyed it. So what I want to say is it looks like I did miss an ending. I was going through and I was trying to find all the dialogue possible, and I think I got most of it. But the ending I did miss is if you keep your determination meter full. I will leave like a step-by-step guide of how to get there right on screen right now. So if you want to download this game and go and see that last ending, you can. There will be a link to the game's page in the description. This is a free game. What else? Thank you for making it this far in the video. If you've made it this far, you're a beast. And I really appreciate your support. Original outro, go! Alright guys, I believe that is all the stuff I could find in how to break up with your Yandere boyfriend. There's a lot of like heavy foreshadowing about Soren and all the different routes you can take. So I am interested in like the full story of this. Uh, it looks like it's gonna be long, so I don't know. I'll make like get like a whole 15 likes, impossible number. I'll play the full version whenever it comes out.